All Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Remasha Qingmyang, Remasha YongHua, all good monks and nuns, and all good knowing advisors, Emitofuo. 诸佛菩萨尽量大师师父上人，各位出家人，各位善知识，弥陀佛。Chư Phật Bồ Tát, kính thưa Thanh Lương Đại sư Hòa thượng Tiến Hóa, quý thầy cô và quý vị thiện tri thức A Di Đà Phật. Hello everyone. Today is the fourth day of August 2023. We're here in Gold Forest to continue discussing the prologue to the Avatamsaka Sutra. It's a nice work from Master Qingmyang. I'm beginning to appreciate it more. I think it's wonderful that we're able to have a survey of Buddhism in general and Avatamsaka as well. So, for example, tonight we go into concept of sudden teaching, gradual teaching, perfect teaching, and so forth. You know, the nice thing about it is that we'll be able to discuss it from a different perspective than simply the bookworms who, thank you. I used to be the case where I read about these concepts. I didn't really know what they meant. This is what happens to the people who try to ask questions in the future. You find in your generation, for some reason, they're scared of me. No one comes and bothers me anymore. But when I first started, people used to come and ask me stupid questions. But your turn will come where they'll come and ask you in your Chan class, in your lectures, what the meaning of these various concepts are. And I assure you, whatever they throw at you is basically from the books, and they don't have the insights that we go through with these concepts together. So actually it's a treat for me personally to be able to revisit these things and try to interpret them from different perspectives for your sake, so that you see that whatever questions they be throwing at you as lectures of the Dharma or try to out-debate you, they see that they really simply understand or familiar with the concepts or the words, but they really don't understand what it really means. Okay, there's a difference. The literary prajna, where you read about these things, that's what we're doing, looking at these. But also contemplative prajna, where you practice, you meditate upon these concepts. Okay? And finally, there is prajna where you transcend these words, that you're not stuck by the Chinese, Taiwanese. And he said, we know the Dharma, you don't. Your ancestors used to know the Dharma, you don't. Okay, and that's the case. So here we are to give you some more background again. He's discussing the various types of teachings. So we're talking about the way how the Chinese scholars used to classify the Buddhist teachings into various types of teachings, in particular of interest here, right here in this section. They talked about teachings of the gods and the humans, and then there's a period where the teachings about existence or marks, and then next period will be teaching of marklessness or emptiness and so forth. So the scholars used to love to divide these teachings to show the superior intellect, to show their mastery of the concepts. Okay, and it's great because then we have a nice survey of what they spend years or decades studying. So now we have them summarized for us, and then we see how ridiculous their summaries are, without having to waste that kind of time. Okay, so it's kind of cool. So enjoy it. Okay, and so they're talking about their first period where they teach about the gods and humans, meaning it says during this first period, the Buddha taught human beings on how to return, make sure that next lifetime they return to the God's realm or they go to God's realm, human's realm, what it takes. Okay, and then next period, next classification would be and so forth about emptiness and so forth. And so here, and the text says in this sutra called Trapusha Sutra, even though it's spoken in the period of the Dharma, supposedly classified as primarily for the gods and humans, meaning this Dharma is here, people learn how to ensure that the next bodies would be in the God's realm or human's realm. Okay? And actually, for these particular sutras, they so claim that the experts, the scholars, claim that it's only for gods and humans, actually contains the patience of the non-arisal of Dharma, meaning there's a fourth stage Arhat. Okay? And that's why he says, this contradiction here, you cannot divide it like that. Even during the period, first period where the Buddha supposedly taught only, directed his teaching only to the gods and humans, actually, he talked about the concepts of the patience and non-production of dharmas. And last week, we talked about it. Last week, we mentioned that, we explained, is it last week? We explained this concept of patient non-production of Dharma, what it means. It means, as the name says, I explained to you why it's called patient non-production of Dharma, so why it's such a beautifully and aptly named Dharma. That Buddha is so clever, so wise, incredibly wise. Even the names he used are designed to give you some hints on how to get there, what it really means. Okay, and it's too bad the Dharma masters don't elaborate enough on this. How beautiful the teaching is, how profound the teaching is, how clever it is. Okay. And so that's why he says here on slide 492 that it's a contradiction. Okay, a contradiction that is, we talks about a fourth stage Arhat kind of wisdom, kind of samadhi, which was mentioned in the sutra that was for the gods and humans as audience. Okay, so you cannot simply say that sutra during that period is only for gods and humans. It's also applicable to higher level destinies. All right? 493. And further contradict the Secret Traces Sutra, which is in this the great collection of Jewel Sutra, in the third section entitled Secret Traces, Power Nights. And in the sutra that was supposedly spoken in the period of the teaching for the gods and humans, it also mentioned the three vehicles, not just simply gods and humans. Three vehicles refer to vehicles of the sound hearers, the Pratyeka Buddhas, and the Bodhisattvas. So far, so good. So Master Jingliang is going through this counter-argument. He says all these classifications actually have issues. And he would cite a contradiction, an example why, a counter-example why what they claim the classification is incorrect. Because in slide 494, the teaching of heart and humans is supposedly for you to ensure that you're born in those realms. Therefore, is no information about how to become sound hearers or Pratyeka Buddhas or Bodhisattvas. Okay. But actually, in the Trapusha Sutra, there's an A lacking here, missing here. Let me fix it. Trapusha Sutra, in that spoken in that period for the gods and humans, it spoke of the production, patient and non-production of dharmas, and also other sections that is also refers to the three vehicles. And furthermore, he also says in that particular Tripusha Sutra, that's Tripusha, remember, is the lay person who, one of the two, who had divination powers. He saw the Buddha. He realized that some great sage came to the world, became a Buddha at the Bodhi tree. So he traveled long distances, met up with 500 merchants and joined their caravan, and they all together decided to go to the Buddha's Bodhi tree. And the Buddha looked at them and said, I will speak Dharma for you. And he spoke Dharma, and Tripusha certified to fourth stage Arhat, and many merchants certified to first stage and second stage Arhats. First stage is Shrota-appana, and second stage is Sakadagami. Okay, there's a quiz at the end of today's lecture. You have to spell these names. All right, you not just simply sit here and relax for the next hour and a half. 495, moreover, those 5 periods and so forth are faulty in that they're all fixed in terms of time. Aside from the fact they are not fixed, speaking for the most part, they are reasonable.
然上50等，皆以约时刻定，则有所乖，减去不定。从多分说，亦有理在。
496, commentary. The 5 periods, as a reminder. First period, existence of marks. Okay? Second period, existence of marklessness or emptiness. Third period is teaching, reproach, and claim, meaning that the Buddha says you should not be too enamored with Hinayana teaching, Theravada teaching, whatever you want to call it. Okay, it's nice, but you're not quite there yet. Don't be so full of yourself. Number 4, teaching identical return is that all these teachings, all the prior teachings, return to the teachings of becoming a Buddha, becoming enlightened. Okay? And then finally, the permanently dwelling teaching is talk about state of Buddhas. Okay? Buddhas are permanently dwelling. And so 497 commentary slides, it says all these classifications have a problem because they did the classification based on time periods. Okay? And it says it's wrong. You cannot classify them by time. Okay? It says, actually, as the Master Qingliang have done so far up to this point, he says, whatever they classify, I will find a counterexample to tell you that their classification have issues. Okay? Because they cannot be classified in terms of time. If you understand the Buddhist teaching, actually Buddhist teaching is not fixed. Buddhas is not bound by rules. Only losers need to be bound by rules. You will not lie down to sleep. You can only eat 1 meal a day. You a loser. Okay? So there's a time for that. Okay? And you cannot say that's the only way to cultivate Buddhism. It's not the only way to study Buddhism. Yes, Wei Mao.
Thank you, Master.
Question.
I have 2 questions.
Oh, yeah.
The first one is in the first
You look
slide.
like a football fan from Argentina. Sorry. I went to Argentina.
It's
Yeah.
good. Okay, sorry. The first slide, this says that it's more than humans and gods because it applies to bodhisattvas. So is there a difference a fundamental difference between humans and bodhisattvas?
Yeah, there's more difference. Humans have genders. Bodhisattvas don't.
Okay. Second
Humans
question.
have nationalities. Human says, I am Argentinian. Okay, Bodhisattva says, so am I. But actually, he's actually American. Okay, next.
My other question is about something you
And of
often tell
course,
us.
Bodhisattvas are happier than humans. Humans are so miserable. I look at you and say, oh, misery, 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 misery. More money, right? I want more money. That's misery. Bodhisattva says, money. Yeah, continue. I can't go on because we only have so much time here to discuss. Because your question, is opens a new can of worms. What's the difference between humans and bodhisattva? I don't have enough time. Bodhisattvas have fun. Humans don't. Humans think they're having fun. Modello, modello, modello. Oh, I'm so happy. And then after I want more modello, modello, modello. That's misery. Bodhisattvas, modello, champagne. No problem. Yeah. I don't want to go into those things in great details, okay? Go.
Okay, thank you, Master. My second question is about something you tell us is to be ourselves and live our lives. When you think about the patience of non-production of dharmas, I think that what would be left of me in that space? All I have are attachments and misery. What if I have a patience of non-production of dharmas? How would I still be me?
So easy question. Answer. You answer. Shan Yin, girl, answer. He's worried about if he has patience and non-production of dharma, what's left of him? The love of God. Yeah? Anyone wants to answer him? What's left? Those you have experienced the patience and non-production of dharmas. Answer him. What? Daniel. 6. What's left? What's left of you? What is left? He's worried.
I was going to ask if you could refresh on what the patience of non-production of Dharma was.
Okay, anyone else? What is it? Come on, come on, come on. What's the patient non-production of dharmas? Anyone? What's that? What have you learned so far? What did I teach you last weekend? Okay, what I taught you last weekend, I would like to remind you again. Anyone remembers? If you remember, I will give you a red card. The same one I have. My red card. Anyone? What's the patient non-production of Dharma? How did I teach you what it's about? This is where we're better than the Chinese. The Chinese talk about it as the words, okay? I want to teach you it's a real deal. It's not concepts. It's about who you are, okay? And that's what Baradona here didn't catch last week. What did I teach you last week? What is patience, non-production of Dharma? What is it? Why is it so darn good? What's so exciting? Yes, 6. Why must we learn about it? Why should we have it? Yes, 6.
Emitofuo Master, as I recall that patient of non-production Dharma last week is you just be patient and eventually all the thought is just die down.
Yeah. Did you get that? Who doesn't get it? Who gets it? Sorry. Didn't mean to insult you. Okay. That's precisely part of the point. The point is that this patient here of non-production Dharma means that when someone praises you, someone insults you, you don't like it. But guess what? Well, actually, someone praises you, you like it. Okay? Or someone insults you, you don't like it. But what do? You do nothing. Okay? Nothing, meaning is to endure. Get it, T? You don't say, stop. Okay? I'm worried. Stop. What's happening to me? You endure. Is that clear? You endure. You endure a good thing. If it's a good thing happens, super lotto, whoopee, let I buy a $25 million home. Go to buy Shen Yun. Huh? Okay. So you don't get excited because a good thing happens to you. Is that normal? That's what his question is about. The original question, what's going to happen to me if I have this patient non-production of Dharma? And the way we train him is that don't get too excited. Or don't get too depressed. Why is this happening to me? You endure it. Shut up. Endure it. Okay? And so the question, the original question, remember, that's why we're here, that's why we're talking about this, is what's going to happen to him? What's left of him? So you get there by enduring it. Is that clear? The pain of your legs. I hate this. Why am I doing this? Okay? Only losers do this. This is not normal. This makes sense. Sounds familiar? Are you in full orders? Never mind. Okay? And you endure it, and you endure it, and you endure it. Because your mind is producing thoughts of dissent. It says, this doesn't make sense. I don't like this. What's happening to me? Okay? So, you don't like it, you complain, you whine. I don't like it, I don't like it. Why do I have to do this? I'm smart, I don't need to do this. There must be a way to go around this. I must be a way, I don't need to endure this. Okay? That is production of dharmas. Yes, production of thoughts. Okay, dharmas are basically things you think of, right? So you think of things, to think of anything, Your thought arises, that's a production of dharmas. Is that clear? Why are you all of a sudden became statues? Have you achieved production or non-production of dharmas? Okay, so stop whining. Stop saying, there must be a better way, must be a better way. God, there's no better way. Okay, this is the only way. Shut up. Okay? Stop whining, stop complaining. Don't be such a pussy. I mean, okay, now, what about something good happening to you? Master likes me. Oh, no, that's not good. I just won a super lotto. I just got a promotion. Look, I got engaged. Someone still likes me. Okay? So all the good things happen to you. What happens? You say, ooh, I'm so special. Okay? So you give rise to thoughts of excitement. Yes, you're excited. Okay? When bad thing happen to you, you get depressed. When good thing happen, you say, oh, I'm so cool, I'm so special. Like me. And that is suffering. Because you become attached. Aren't you? You want more modelos. I give you, I introduced the modelo. You say, ooh, this is good. Can I have another? And then another? And another? You still don't get it. You say, oh, Master is so nice. No, I'm torturing you. Okay? And so you naturally form this attachment. It's the attachments that make you produce thoughts. So what do? You patiently endure it. Yes, you say, I like more. Can I have one more? The dark kind, not the dark brew. Modelo had two kinds of brews, light and dark. Okay? I prefer dark. Okay, it's more character. I'm a character kind of person. Anyway, and so you endure it. You say, wow, this is so cool. And guess what? Do nothing. That's called to endure. The thoughts will arise, but you do nothing. That's called patience. If no thought arises, guess what? It's nothing to be patient about. Is that clear? You sit, meditate. I say, I don't feel good here. That's no patience. Meditation is you sit there and the back is aching and everything and you sleepy and you say, no, I'm not moving. That's patience of non-production of dharmas training. Don't say, oh mama, why am I doing this? I hope my wife likes me more. Things I do for my wife. Okay? No production. You endure. That's called patience. The more you endure, the more patience you have. Does that mean you become less of a person, according to Maradona? Huh? Paradona says, if I attain patience and non-production of dharmas, what's left of me? Huh? What's left? Answer him. Don't be patient with me now. This is a time not to have patience with non-production of dharma. This is time for you to answer. What do you have? Yes, 6.
Amitofuo Master. I'm guessing that what is left is very interesting, that you will understand the Buddha Dharma very accuracy and very interesting.
What happened to your wife when you understand the Buddha Dharma so accurately?
You see the feeling is...
Never mind. What happened to your son? The wife doesn't matter. What happened to your son?
I think you will be less attached, and then in my case, like I take a step back and watch it and enjoy with whatever is happened to him. But so far, I think it's going well. I don't know when it go bad, and I will check my feeling, how I feel. But I think it's
so far only good things happen.
Yeah, so far
there's no patience at all.
Yeah, so I only guess, So that
this guy has no patience yet. He said, only so far good things only happen to my son. This is so nice.
But
no patience.
I think when bad thing happen, that's where you learn, and you can see that.
This guy is depressed. He said, I want bad things to happen to me so I can learn. That's not normal.
But all dharmas you see, or things happen, it arise and it disappear, or it is exactly as Buddha taught us. That's how it is. Every single dharma is like that. And
if you talk like this, I do not want to have patience and non-production of dharmas.
It shows wrong, Master.
Okay, old monk, how do you explain what's left? Huh? They're going to ask you in Korea. They say.
A Di Đà Phật, sau khi mà mình đạt được cái đó rồi đó, thì mình còn một cái rất là từ bi. Mình thương tất cả chúng sanh. Con nhớ cái năm 78, 79 thì có lần con ngồi thiền nửa đêm ở trong cái mùng trong tù. Tự nhiên nó tới cái tình trạng nó xảy ra. Mình nghĩ đến những bộ đội nó ngồi nó gác ở ngoài cổng đó, ngoài cái hàng rào đó. Mình ra nó bắn chết liền đó. Nhưng mà mình vẫn thương như là mình thương một chúng sanh không biết từ đâu nó phát ra. Rồi nghĩ đến con gà, con chó trong cái trại của bộ đội nó canh chừng mình bên kia lộ đó, cũng thương luôn. Chứ không còn cái gì, chỉ còn cái tình thương thôi. Nó phát ra một cách tự nhiên, mà thương rất là thương, nhưng không phải mình cố tình mình tập làm từ bi vậy hết. Thì như Lục Tổ kìa rồi cũng giảng đó. Sau khi được cái tịch tỉnh đó rồi là không phải ngu ngơ trong cái đó mà phải đi giúp chúng sanh, phải đem dùng cái từ bi.
Emitofuo Master, after we achieve the non-production, patient of non-productions of Dharma, what left is your compassion, very, very kind and compassion. We love all of living beings. I remember that in the 78, 80s, I was lying in the prison. All of a sudden it's happened. It's not that I was practicing the Dharma of kindness of patience. It just naturally happened. Is that I saw the guard, the prison guard. If we walk out of that boundary, they will shoot you. But we just think of all of living beings, just like the chicken, the dog, and the troop, the army and the guard. We just love them. and there's nothing left. We just love them and have the kind and compassion, just like the sixth patriarch has a saying that once you get the tranquility and stillness, you have to go back and help living beings. You don't deny them, reject them.
This will discourage a lot of people from becoming monks. Yes, JC.
Hello, do you hear me? Hello, Master. I think what's left is the attachment to the emptiness.
Attachment to emptiness?
Yeah.
This girl is depressed. God, no wonder I still have to speak Dharma. Anyone else? Can someone help me out so that I can retire? Number one. Yes, number one.
Thank you, Master. My guess would be that when you are no longer attached, then that you will have bliss.
Yeah, bliss. Okay. Yes, JMT. Basically, bliss, she means that when I'm no longer attached, yes, honey, I love you, but I don't need you anymore. I only have my bliss. Did you hear me? Yes, JMT.
안녕하세요. 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요.
을 얻게 되면 마음의 한계가 없어집니다. 마음의 한계가 없습니다.
Someone wake up Xianwen.
No limit to the mind.
What?
There's no limit to the mind.
There's still limits to the mind?
No limit.
No more limits to the mind. Okay, DTT answer. There's no one there, but we have an answer coming from the air of DTT. It's too much. DTT, speak up. You'll find out what the air sounds like. Unmute yourself. Come on. They gave up already. You too. Question.
There's a question from Cordelia.
Yes.
I used to dwell in my emptiness, but I realized I excluded Evan. He's the reason why I started to cultivate. So I decided to not attach to that stare. Initially, it was hard. I felt this fog covering my mind and sleepy all the time. Master told me to endure it, and recently something lifted, and my mind is in its own emptiness without me trying to dwell in it. Master, am I going the right direction? Emitofuo.
Yeah, dear, you're going the right direction. Okay, anyone else? Emptiness. Empty space. Use a microphone, that helps. The answer is, what's left of me? What's going to happen to me? What's left of me? Okay? What's left of you is your true self. you discover your true self. You don't know your true self, in other words. You don't really know who you are. You're confused by all these things that surround you, by your sense organs. You're confused by them. You're bombarded by all this information. You're so confused, you have no idea that you're so confused. When you stop that confusion, you find your true self. What happens to the true self? That you are so happy, the kind of happiness you never experienced before. That's what's left of you. All the stuff is still there. If you take Modelo, you say, oh, I want another one, I want another one. But guess what? Now you have a choice. You say, Modelo, Modelo, Modelo. Okay? You still have that choice. That part of you is still there. You're not dead yet. Okay? You still have that desire. But then, different is that you have a choice. Do I indulge or shall I not indulge? Right now, you have no choice. You only have one path. I indulge. That's all I know. That's all I can do. That's all I want. After you have the patient and non-production of Dharma, he says, I indulge now to make Master happy. Okay? But when you say, oh, Master is testing me, no thanks. Can you do that? Okay? A person who has patient non-production of dharmas has a choice. Until you're there, you have no idea of what it's like to be free from that. So you need to go through the training. You need to go through the quizzes before you know what it is. It's not a concept. Argentina, Maradona, Argentina. You wonder who I'm talking about? Okay? It's not. I say, what's left of me? I like this, I don't like that. It's still there. But the additional thing is that you have a next mode where you says, I can choose not to indulge anymore. Before, you could not. Before, basically, I like to use the term, you heard it before you reach to non-production of dharmas, the patient non-production of dharmas, what are you? You are a victim of your desires and your afflictions. You cannot help yourself. And you always are able to come up with excuses and say, oh, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. This is for the good cause. You know, I win the money here and I'll build a nice temple and save a lot more people. You know? And so you are a victim of your own desires, your selfish desires. You basically are a victim of that. You don't realize. You don't realize that now you have a choice. Huh? You have a choice. Should I or shouldn't I? Until you have the patience, non-production, and dharmas, you have no choice. Basically, that's what I meant by you basically are a victim of your desires. They sound so compelling. They make so much sense. What's the harm in doing this? This is for a good cause. I dedicate all these for a good cause. This is for inspiration. You convince yourself, you have come up with so many reasons that this makes sense to you. But you don't realize that as long as it makes sense to you intellectually, that means you basically are justifying to yourself. You're making excuses. This is why Master YongHua taught something so beautiful. It took me a long time to understand. Don't justify. Don't explain. Endure it. Oh, not for you, honey. Go dancing. Keep dancing. Got that? You are still a victim. You can talk all you want, but you cannot control yourself. You have to undergo the training to understand how to rise above yourself, your own limitations. You think you can sit there and say, I can figure it out? No, you can't. You cannot. No matter how smart you are, you cannot rise above it. You cannot figure out how to do it yourself. Impossible. Throughout the history of mankind, hasn't been able to happen. It cannot happen. You cannot figure it out. Haven't happened before. Never will. You have to be taught. And don't think like Maradona, I can figure it out. I have nothing I haven't been able to figure out yet. Not this one, guys. You cannot figure it out. Does it help? And if, because you have this choice where you can indulge or not indulge, your life is so much richer, so much more meaningful. You no longer are a victim. You have more choices. It's supposed to be glamorous, man. It's not supposed to be suffering. The way you guys portray it, it's like it's so much suffering. I love my son, but now it's okay if he dies. Come on, man. Loving people? Come on. That's Catholic. Don't love people. All right? Maradona, is it clear?
Oh, thank you, Master. Yes, it is, adds a lot of clarity. Just one more follow-up and then I'll stop. I'm starting to hate myself when I want to break precepts. And I guess like I'm discriminating.
Wait. That's to be specific. Which precept are we talking about? You cannot get away with it. You open this can of worms, I'm going to get to the bottom of this. Which one?
Wow. Okay, well, I'll be honest then. I'm in a family, right? You remember you said 2 weeks ago, or maybe a week ago, that Master YongHua said married people shouldn't have relations. And And then
Master
I'm really trying
XinHua.
to,
It's Chinese, we American.
yeah. And then everybody
Yeah.
clapped and was like, yay, still American. But at the same time, I don't have non-production of dharmas, right? And so I want to get there.
Sounds like he's justifying himself.
Ooh. I'm just trying to listen and settle.
So what did you
settle
do?
down.
So what did you do?
Not do it. That's what I'm saying. But it's like, it's
So
not exactly,
you listen to Master XinHua? That's the first. Seriously?
yeah, but I don't think that's like maybe the best way to be me, Like,
I'm
I don't
impressed.
know.
I'm so impressed, man. It never stopped me. I mean, don't get it wrong. But what I mean is that, man, there's talk, but then there's what to do about it. Okay? So you said you stopped yourself because
Right, and I'm
Master
gaining, like,
XinHua
an
said,
aversion.
you're not supposed to.
Yeah.
Even though it's not for, what are you, Italian? You look like Italian now with this
Argentinian,
haircut.
Master.
Huh?
Argentinian.
Argentina? Oh, excuse me. Master XinHua said it's for Chinese couples. That's why I always chuckle with all these disciples of his. You say, my master said, so it's for Chinese people, man.
Yeah. So
You struggle.
So
You suffer.
don't worry about having an aversion to it. Just keep being me.
So it's still left. That's still left. So what is the question again? I'm sorry, we got lost.
Yeah. So I mean, I feel like I'm really taking this stuff to heart. Really thinking like I am constantly suffering by being in this world. I'm constantly suffering by attaching myself to things. I need to gain an aversion to my natural mind that is not my true mind, and it's fundamentally changing me in ways in which I feel an aversion to a lot of my natural inklings, and including ones that bring me closer to others, like the relations. And so, what is that proper or is it not?
No. That's always your sickness. You have a sick mind. You always are justifying. Look at him. I'm not supposed to justify it. This is American Dharma, man. It's no longer Chinese, okay? And this is why I don't like the Chinese thing. Is that Master XinHua says, I'm not supposed to, with my wife. But I'm suffering so much. What am I supposed to do? Can I suggest Indian style? What is that?
Pray tell.
Please tell. Okay. Cut it off. Oh, no, I said no. Cut off the desire, man. I'm not talking about this guy is so one-track minded. Oh my God! We'll never do those things. Not even the Indians. God. See, he has all these prejudices. Here's what happened to him. But everything has to make sense to him. That's his biggest problem. Every single thing he does has to make sense to him. He doesn't see it. He said, let me think. It has nothing to do with Chinese, Indian, or American, or Argentinian. It's about you. It has to make sense to you. You're so sick. That. As soon as something happens, you say, that makes sense. Sounds familiar, anyone? He says, okay, count me in. He said, okay, count me in. That's exactly what happens to people like him. This makes sense to me. No, that doesn't make sense to me. Yeah, that's okay. He has to approve it constantly. So it doesn't matter what you tell him. You tell him, oh, like Master Hsuan, this is a problem with a person like him. Master Hsuan's instruction will not work. Master Hsuan says, don't touch your wife. Is that what basically he says? Look at his face. You see, it has it all. Master Hsuan told me not to touch my wife. So I didn't touch my wife. I hate it. But I told myself, it makes sense. I should not touch my wife. So I'm going to ask Master YongHua, should I not touch my wife? If it makes sense to you, you shouldn't have to ask me. Now you're tormenting me. Should I tell you Chinese Dharma, Indian Dharma, or American Dharma? Give you Indian, you misunderstand Indian right away. There's no solution for you. You stop yourself. It doesn't matter, Chinese, Indian, American, Argentinian, Italian. Okay, this is Italian. Don't do that. Why are you like this? Stop it. Madre mia. Okay? When you try to rationalize, you try to approve, you try to verify, you try to justify, cut it out. Ignore that. You're tormenting yourself, that's all. Meaning that if those thoughts arise, the thoughts of, I want my wife, I like to be my wife, no longer there, right? Okay. I want to be my wife. Use the Chinese Dharma. Don't be with your wife and endure it. That's all. You guys don't understand. Master Hsuan teaching is right, but the way you interpret it is wrong. When he says, don't, I have a child here, so you put me in a very bad spot. I struggle with that too. Yeah. I'm a victim. So when he says, don't do it, it means that you did the right thing. You're supposed to control it, okay? Endure the suffering, okay? That's all you're supposed to do, and that stops, that's it. That's all. If you really believe him, you would say, Master Hsuan says so, I stop. I will not even bother asking Master YongHua, because I believe Master Hsuan more than Master YongHua, or the other way around. Say something.
I have one master.
Who is? Do you think I'm going to fall for that?
Master YongHua.
Master YongHua?
Yeah.
Can we see it louder? I can't hear you. Okay? All that you're supposed to do, and I've been waiting for a long time for you to bring this up time and time again, it's the same answer. Okay? Whatever is bothering you, okay? you endure it. It does not have to make sense to you. That's all there is to it. You endure until you no longer want to justify it. That's the Dharma behind it. What Master YongHua said, don't touch your wife, don't be intimate with your wife. What he means is that. And it's unfortunately, the way the Chinese taught is very confusion. He said, shame on you. You impure. Confusion, yes? Asian people, confusion. Yes, confusion. He said, Confucius said, oh, you're not supposed to do this. This is improper. Improper. You don't do that. No! This is why I'm rebranding our Dharma as American, because there's just too much confusion values in there, in Master YongHua's teaching, that causes problems for you. Okay? Because what it meant, oh my God. Thank you very much. When am I supposed to stop, honey? 9? Can you can tell time? What time is it now? She can't tell time, and she tell me I'm supposed to stop at 9. I'm supposed to stop at 10, honey. Very good. Excellent. Okay, so what it means is that it's just like, I don't know why the Catholics and the Chinese, the way Master YongHua put it, the way Confucius puts it, they put a sort of like, it's dirty, it's a shameful thing, it is inappropriate, it's improper, and so forth. It is not cultivation. Okay? The cultivation I'm teaching you is that stop it, stop thinking. If you believe Master YongHua, then do what he says. It doesn't have to make sense to you. If you believe your master, then just do it. Don't try to justify. Don't try to agree. Don't try to make sense out of it. Because when I tell you to do something, if you do it, then you understand why. You don't do it, you never understand why. If you understand it already, you think I will waste time telling you to do it? I will ignore you. I only talk to you because you're stupid. You don't get it. That's all I have to tell you. You keep on justifying everything. You say, oh, it makes sense because Master YongHua says so. Master YongHua also says so. You don't need to do that. If you really believe, just stop. Just do it, that's it. No matter what your mind tells you, no matter what all the people tell you, it doesn't matter. Then you understand. We're not doing this to get approval from her, from him, not at all, or from yourself. Stop it. You're doing it because I tell you to. And that's why you struggle with it, but you keep on struggling with the fact that, I don't know, it doesn't make sense to me. Or, yeah, makes sense. Even that is not desirable. Because that is still production of Dharma. You are thinking about making sense or not making sense. That's production of Dharmas. Cut it out. Too smart for your own good. That's what your problem is. You're way too smart for your own good. You too. Question.
From Diego, is the patience of non-production first ground bodhisattva or fourth stage arhat?
Fourth stage arhat, because basically that's the first level. Patient non-production of Dharma has many levels. But what it's referring to is that you need to learn to endure things that are difficult to endure. It's not about, you cannot possibly give rise to thoughts, to stop all thoughts. In order to get there, what you need to do is, let me repeat, you need to do is to endure the thoughts that are very difficult for you to endure, to accept right now. You cannot possibly stop all thoughts. The patient non-production of dharmas really means, I haven't explained it to you, it really means that you need to learn to endure the most difficult thoughts for you to endure. That's all. You don't need to endure everything. That's why if I give you Modelo, no problem, because it's not difficult to endure. Okay? But the second one, you ask, can I have a second one? I say no. That's when you need to endure. The first one is nothing. You understand? If it's not a struggle, it's not called patience. Modelo, anyone? You see, this is why what makes the Chinese, I call them, the American here, we call them prudes. Okay, we call it, the Protestants are prudes, the Catholics are prudes, and so forth. There's a word that's kind of derogatory. Okay, and the equivalent term for the Chinese culture is confusion. Let me tell you, I call confusion prudes, because they have these artificial rules that are not designed to help you open your wisdom, only to make you more frustrated. That's what bothers me about Confucius teachings. It's frustrating to me. Like it's frustrating to your wife. You look at your wife, you're like, no, Confucius. Master Xinhua, no. How are you going to have a happy family life if you're like that? How are you going to be able to cultivate? Your wife says, what's happening to you? Huh? What's remaining of you? Like Maradona says. Get it? The patience means is to endure things that cannot be endured. If it's easy, it's not a problem. It's not patience at all. YouTube question.
This is from Samson Lau. So does this mean that when we reach the patience of non-production of dharmas, we can indulge without losing our way? So it would be safe to indulge in our desires?
Sort of. I don't want to say yes to this guy. This guy's too dangerous. Samson said, hey, I made it. Master YongHua says so. I made it. Now I can indulge. I don't need to be patient anymore. My God, these people are so unreasonable. You always use an excuse to justify your dependencies and your misery. Okay, so going back to the slide 497, so he says, in fact, all the teachings actually cannot be classified. They should be unfixed or not fixed. So if they weren't, if these scholars did not confine them to classifying by time period, they're very, very good teachings. They're very good insights into the Buddha's teaching. That's what he meant by reasonable. It's kind of condescending. How do you pronounce it again? Say it again. Condescending. Thank you very much. Has it come from? Condescending. Okay. It's reasonable here. He says, actually, what he's saying that these scholars, to him, are sort of limited. That's why he used the word reasonable. 有理在. So he says, yes, they have some principles behind it. Although what he's alluding to is that their views are not profound at all. Why not? Because these people have no prajna wisdom yet. That's what he's alluding to. But he's too polite. He's too Chinese to be blunt like us. Reasonable is that, yeah, it's reasonable from a literary prajna perspective, but at a deeper level, they don't have it. And that's Jing Liang is very, very, very tough, but he's not direct at all. Okay, next. 498. 2. Vinaya Master Guangdong of the latter way, who received his training from Tripitaka Master Buddha Shanta.
2. 后位光统律师承袭佛陀三藏。
Okay, 499. 2 is about when the second group of Dharma masters who separated Buddhist teaching into 3 teachings. Okay, 3 types of teachings. And so they just finished the first group. Now he's talked about second group. So far, so good? Don't worry. Don't have to understand everything. Just be exposed to this, and you see how cute all these people are. And they try very hard. So you have to give them credit for trying so hard, for trying to help. Although they have limited wisdom. That's why no matter how hard they tried, they cannot get very far. But they're useful because, as I said, again, because to me they're useful because they give us a survey, okay? And they are representatives of those bookworms that are very limited in their understanding. Do not be impressed by them. The more they talk, like these scholars do, you can find holes in their theories, in their work, because they lack depth. Okay? So 2 teachings. This is about Vinaya Master. A Vinaya Master is a specialist of precepts. Okay? According to the Buddhist definition here, Vinaya Master in Chinese tradition, Indian tradition, they study precepts. That's why they know precepts. They study precepts. That's all they do. They study the books on precepts. Okay? Precepts in Chinese, precepts, they have such books and they have certain language for describing the precepts. So you need to study them for a long time. The books, you need to read a lot before you can see the patterns and what they're referring to. So it's a special language, special usage of the Chinese characters for it. So they study precepts, okay? And they know precepts, okay? And they live by the precepts and never violate precepts, okay? And this refers to Hinayana approach. You start with that, okay? But Vinaya Master actually, when you go to Mahayana, is way beyond that. Okay? But anyway, for all practical purposes, it's fair to define Vinaya Master as someone who is specialist in precepts and who lives by precepts. Okay? Violate precepts? No. If you understand then you understand violation, and then you at a different realm. The Vinaya master, according to this definition, does not really understand precepts. That's why they never violate precepts. Okay? That's the Mahayana definition. But it's okay. Let the Chinese, let it be. Okay? I'm telling you that for us, it's a lot more behind this than just the way that the Chinese would like us to understand, or the Indian like us to understand. Okay, the limited. It's not. What they're presenting is not the complete precepts yet. So Vinaya master Wang Tong. So this, of course, at his level, he's a Vinaya master, definitely Vinaya master. So that's correct. Wang Tong is Vinaya master because you know precepts, live by precepts, never violate precepts. That's Wang Tong. So it's a big achievement for him to reach this level. Wang Tong received transmission from Master, typical Master Buddha Shanta. Okay, and this is, according to Master YongHua, gave some information, and to me, some holes in here, but it's okay. Let the Chinese be Chinese. Okay, so there's Buddha Shanta, he's Indian, and he had the Indians. They are very serious about cultivation. They have co-cultivators. 5 people cultivated together, and 4 were very vigorous, and they became the certified Fruitions. They become enlightened, open to wisdom, and Buddha Shanta was kind of slacking. Okay, the reason you cultivate with others is so that you follow along. Okay, Buddha Shanta is very individualistic. He says, "You guys can do it, but no, you're not today." Okay, let me take some time off. Okay, and so the 4 of them became enlightened and certified to the fruit, whatever it means, probably 4th stage Arhat. Okay, and only Buddha Shanta was not enlightened. Okay, and this is what happens. Very much like when you cook rice. The cook rice, you just follow methodology. Okay, and then in order for the rice to be cooked right, you cannot stop prematurely. Okay, what is that called? It's called. This is a Chinese secret. Maybe you should not reveal it. Okay. Do not tell this to the Chinese. Chinese for a second? Okay. Take a hike. Okay, Taiwanese, okay. Taiwanese is not Chinese. Not yet. Okay? Korean, get out. Okay? So, what is that? It's called, this is why these people don't understand. Don't understand. That's why they struggle so much. It's why these people say, I never, you know, they have so many excuses. It's like, I give you the analogy, cultivation is like cooking rice. You follow the methodology, yes? Whether you go to Xu Yun's temple and they tell you to do those things, you do those things, okay? You don't ask why. Is it clear, Maradona? You just follow the recipe, okay? And very much like cooking rice. You're supposed to go through these procedures, these steps, okay? And if you stop too soon, the rice will not be cooked. You will not reach enlightenment, okay? So what is that called? Not stopping. What is that called? Huh? 10 years and you still don't get it? Vigor! You're tired. Your body's aching. You say, I like to sleep, I like to sleep. What do? Endure! Thank you. I told you, only Taiwanese get it, Chinese don't. It's called vigor. You endure it. If you don't endure, that means you stop too soon. The Chinese only teach, the Chinese in India only teach vigor as a good thing, do more good thing. The good thing not arisen yet, do more, make it arise it. Bad thing that you're doing, stop it. Bad thing you haven't done yet, make sure you don't do it. Oh, it's not vigor. That's confusing. You understand? You follow those instructions, you get confused. This is why nowadays the Chinese don't get it anymore because the instructions are too confusing. The Koreans don't get it anymore because the instructions are too confusing. Vietnamese don't get it anymore because they don't get it. Okay? And that's why it's not about understanding Maradona, it's about doing what you're told. Shut up. It does not have to make sense to you. You think when we tell you, do it, we say, oh Lord, please, make him do it. Make him do it, please. I give you instruction. I have to pray to God, to the Lord, that you do it. You follow my instructions. It's not called instruction then. It's called miracle. I'm asking for the Lord to intervene. Idiot. How dare you? I'm calm. You understand? No one ever explained to you what vigor really means yet. I just explained it to you. You can't stop. Keep going. It does not have to make sense to you, idiot. You have no wisdom, but you keep on asking like Maradona, I don't know about this. It doesn't make sense to me. Okay, so anyway, I'm calm. Back to the Dharma now. Okay, I apologize for my temper. So he's lazy. See, a lazy word here. He's not vigorous. And that's why he didn't make it. He practiced like them. He got the same Dharma. But he never pushed himself. He said, I don't know, maybe tomorrow. Mañana. Okay? And after he fell behind, it's too late now. The other guys made it. And he says, I don't know. I have no knowing, no attaining. Okay? And that's a form of wisdom. Okay? And so he says, I'm ashamed myself. Well, okay? So I'm going to kill myself. And so he says, let me drown myself. Okay? Jump to the ocean and drown. Okay? So at least I'm not a waste of humanity. Impressive. See? It's a sense of called shame. He says, my God, my teachers, my Buddhas and Bodhisattvas invested in me, so much in me, and I messed up. I am ashamed of myself. I should put an end to myself. This guy, I'm telling you, he's not depressed like most of you. Most of you say, let me kill myself because I'm suffering too much. It's different. You understand the difference? When you decide to kill yourself after you fail because you said, I'm suffering too much, I need to put an end to the suffering because it's depression. This guy is really shame. He says a shame, a remorse. He says, I failed my teacher. I have failed my co-cultivators. I failed my supporters. I'm not worthy. I have no excuse. I'm ashamed of myself. So he tried to kill himself. And then he says, but if I drown myself, I still, my cadaver will pop up after a few days. And I still a burden to society. So no, let's burn myself instead. Okay? The guy is decent. It's called decency, folks. He says, I will not be a burden. I've been a burden to my supporters, to my cultivators, to my masters, to my teachers, to my bodhis and bodhisattvas. I will not. I will stop being a burden. So I will burn myself. Okay? Cremate myself. So I went and bought some oil. Okay? But guess what? To burn yourself takes more than a gallon of oil. So he needed a lot of oil. But he's poor. So he couldn't find enough money. And so he went to Shen Yun and borrowed some money. And Shen Yun says, what do you need so much money for? He says, to get away from you forever. He said, how? He said, I'm going to burn myself so you cannot even see me anymore. And Shen Yun said, well, no, that's wrong. This guy actually has wisdom. That's why he's his friend. Okay? So he said, don't do that. Okay? You have to understand, this guy has wisdom. He says, you fail because your conditions are not ripe yet. Okay? You planted a lot of good seeds already. Okay? And for you to stop right now would be a real waste. You don't want to do that. I tell you what, your conditions are not here in India, but they are in China. Okay? In case you haven't noticed, Buddha Shanta is not Chinese. It's Indian name. Sanskrit. Not that I know Sanskrit, but... Okay? So he says, go to China. That's where you can cultivate. So he went to China. And he says, in China, it's not about cultivation alone for you, but also you have to teach. Your two disciples are waiting for you in China. So he went to China. Okay? And he's lucky, because his friend clearly was enlightened. And he's have enough wisdom and power to convince Buddha Shanta to go to China. And he went to the Shaolin temple in Luoyang and accepted two disciples. One was Master Chou, the other one is Guangtong. And this is something I don't understand. After taking those disciples, he became enlightened. Fourth stage Arhat. I received like almost 20 disciples now. Nowhere near it. I have to go to China clearly. Only takes 2. I criticize Chinese Dharma, but this is the time I like to go to China. Okay? Time is up. Thank you, honey. Okay. So next time we'll continue off 507. Thank you, everyone.